Hello everyone, this is Scribbling Joe, and I'm doing an art challenge from Instagram. This particular art challenge is from Cashless Art, and this drawing is what I am doing. Basically, I am redrawing that drawing using my style. I'm starting off with a bit of a scribble and kind of getting an idea of how I want my composition, what kind of picture I want to draw. And even though they have their own picture already, I am going to come up with my own thing. For those of you who are interested, I'm using Autodesk Sketchbook Pro, which is free if you sign up for it. And I'm also using the Samsung Galaxy Tab S3. I decided to go with the second of my sketches for this one, and I just kind of liked how it worked in the composition. And originally, I was going to have his hand looming over the planet, but I decided against it because there was too much negative space and not enough positive space. So that got omitted completely. The look that I'm going for is kind of a dark, cartoony kind of look, as opposed to the cutesy, cartoony look that they have. It's something that I prefer when they say draw it in your style. I assume they want me to do what I want with the drawing as see fit. I'm trying to stay true to the original picture, but I'm trying to impose my own little style on it. I decided to go with a kind of fat looking, stodgy character. Uh, Kind of probably my body build, actually. We don't need to get personal with that. But everything is kept monochrome for now, and I'm gonna be colorizing it later. The way I colorize it is I mess around with the hue and saturation. Autodesk Sketchbook Pro has that feature in its layer panel. I smoothed out its body because it looked a little bit too sketchy for me. I'll later on add more effects for brush later on in the picture. And I had to work out the hands. Sometimes hands are difficult, and sometimes I have to use cylinders to work them out before I could get the actual hand. And a lot of this is me drawing over one thing, erasing another thing, and then drawing it over it and erasing it. It's just kind of how I work. I actually got it from an artist named Keenan Lafferty, and he shows this technique is called line sculpting. With line sculpting, you're basically adding lines and then using the eraser to push them back. I find it more intuitive than a lot of other processes. A lot of people prefer to draw things straight. I find that line sculpting works best for me. And it also helps me put in things like shadows, highlights, and it's a more malleable approach. And I'm drawing the stars. I looked up with a friend of mine, and I found that those are not real constellations. I thought it would have been really cool, and I should have done this if we put real constellations in there. Should have done it. Oh well, live and learn, right? And I'm starting to add textures onto everything, and at this point, I will start colorizing it. And now I will start the digital painting process. This basically begins it. Um, when I colorize it, it gives me like a base color to work with, and I get to play around with them a little bit more. I find that this works best for me. But hey, whatever you want to do is up to you. And I'm starting to add, right now, what I'm thinking of is where is my light coming from? That's the biggest thing. And I chose the Saturn object to be the base point of my light because I think it glowed in the picture, so I'm assuming it glows here too. Also, the minor sources of light will be the constellations on his body. In truth, there's a lot of light coming from just about everywhere in this drawing, so it gets really confusing very quickly. And I think this was why I changed the color of the constellations. The way I do light is I apply a darker color like the orange that you see on the constellations, and then I follow it up inside that color with a lighter color, like a yellow or a whitish kind of yellow. And that's been effective for me. I got that idea by looking at the glow brushes on Sketchbook and seeing how they operated, basically following their color patterns. And they usually use like a white or something, and then they have the outer color as the color you select. And that looks okay, but that's sometimes I find that there are degrees within there. And I've been looking at a lot of other drawings and pictures from artists that I consider better than me, and looking at how they do light and glowing effects. Now I changed the background to this purple looking color, and I'm making his teeth within the inside area glow. It's kind of like the inside of his mouth is glowing, but his teeth are like blackish, bluish, purple. And then I added a gradient. The gradient is kind of like saying this is space. I wanted to use the gradient to show depth, basically. And then I'm just making him pop more because I found that he basically disappeared when I put that gradient on. But I added some more stars onto the sky to make it look like he's in space, and I added a few little clouds to show that that's like a nebulous kind of effect there. And that is pretty much as far as I went. I added some small little details to make it pop a little bit more, but other than that, that was it. I hope you guys like this. If you like this, please like and subscribe, and I will do more.